If you only stay at the surface of life, you'll never find anything worth exploring? Oh! Oh, let the bombs fly, D's. Holy shit. I mean, come on. How many times do we talk about that? Most people are not deeper than a bucket of water. Most people can't get off channel one conversation. Oh, did you see the football game last night? I don't know what the fuck happened last night. I have no clue how the Bills and Jags ended or what the fuck happened between the Commanders and the Bengals. I barely even know that those were the four teams playing last night. I don't
It was
care.
4 teams playing last night?
Bingo. It doesn't
Oh,
dictate my
wow.
life, right? It doesn't dictate.
Okay.
And you know, we took some time to mention it on Gak Spaces and talk about fantasy and whatever, but you know, I didn't wake up this morning and oh, I lost my fantasy league. Oh, my day's gonna be so bad. Oh, I got injuries. Oh, who cares? It is fantasy. Fantasy is the first word. It is made up, fictional, not real, make believe. So operate with it in that as just something to benefit to your life, something a little something you can have that improves, makes your life a little funner, whatever it might be, gives you a little mental vacation. But don't sum up your life with those things in football and especially other guys who are not even wearing your last name on their back nameplate. Why are you allowing them to dictate your emotions and how you feel and how you operate in this life? That makes no sense. That makes no sense to me, man. And dude, it's Hanlon's razor. It never attribute to malice what could be attributed to incompetence. And I've said it a million times. If you go throughout your day and you just are present and you open your eyes and you go to the POV of a PLP pusher and you give out compliments and shit, you will see how locked into their own world people are. You will see how anxious and nervous and fearful that they are. And if you just break their thought pattern with a, hey, I like that shirt. Maybe caught my eye from all the way back there. What? What'd you say? I said, I like your shirt. It caught my eye from all the way back there. Uh, uh, oh, thank you. I appreciate it. I promise you, you will get it over and over and over again. And you will find that most people are not mad at you. They're not mad they're just mad at the world. They're mad at their circumstances. They're mad at where life has taken them and they don't know how to get out of that. They don't know how to come back to the positive. Their whole life is negative. What they eat, what they consume, who they are, their relationships, their family, everything has become negative and they don't know what positive means anymore. That's why you start to hear people talk about, oh, he's toxic positivity. He's toxically positive. Okay, I would rather be toxically fucking positive than negative. Wouldn't I want to walk into a room every single time and somebody goes, oh, here comes positive Polly. Watch the fuck out, everybody. If your knuckles are dragging, they're going to be up again. That's what happens when me and Swirl walk into a room, right? People might joke about it and say, oh, fucking here comes the shining light. Great, wonderful, all the energy. Now I can't be down. But why not? Why wouldn't you want to bring that into a room instead of the opposite? What's the alternative, live dog? How do I want to live my life? I want to be that light. I want to be that example. And I want to make sure that anyone I come across, if it's a bad interaction, maybe it was just incompetence. Maybe they had something going on in their lives. Maybe I had something going on in my lives. Remembering that we all have a backstory. And what difference does it make? It's a penguin car. Looks like you blew a seal. Who's to say, who's to know? What do you think, Swirl
He
One?
said, looks like you blew a seal. That's hilarious. But I will tell you, I love it. And I've seen that video before. I love what that, most people that would talk to that person would think he's kind of slightly awkward, maybe socially awkward, but I would say he's a lot more smart socially than most people. He's very, very observant and he can see what's going on around him. And I say it all the time, and it really is an epidemic of people that are in their own world when they're supposed to be washing the dishes. And one of the biggest ones is when these guys when you're driving. How many people are in their own world when they're driving? The worst time to be. You're literally driving a 1-2 ton machine that doesn't run on its own. I don't care if it's got a Tesla or not. It does require your attention to be able to operate at its best efficiency. And you're cruising around with hundreds and sometimes thousands of other, different humans in their own world driving these 3,000-4,000 ton machines or pound machines. And we're just doing it like it's an everyday thing when you don't understand how fast something can happen And then that freeway is an absolute mess. And you don't want to be a part of that. People are constantly out there in their own world. And I always, one of my pet peeves is people that sit in the left lane, right? Hey, if you don't got felony money and you're not trying to go to jail, get out of the left lane. That's me. All right, I'm ready. I'm going. All right, I've got that money. I'm ready to go. But others, they're just tooling around in there, or they're on their phone or whatever. And truth be told, no matter what you're doing, you need to do that. Like that's what we talked about yesterday. When you're doing the dishes, do the dishes, right? And I'm very aware of being on the streets and I'm walking by people. And if I see people taking a picture, I'll move around it. If I see something I can help with, I help with it. If I see somebody I can smile at, I smile at. One of my biggest things lately, and I've always watched people, but one of the biggest things is I try to catch eye contact with people just to see who won't. And that's because I walk around trying to be very confident now, and I'm testing my confidence always. Like I feel better about my life. I'm in a really good place. Things are going well. Now, is everything perfect? Hell no. I got problems just like everybody else. But at the same time, as I'm walking around, I'm looking at people, hoping that they'll meet eyes with me. And when they meet eyes with me, all I want to do is smile at them. But you realize there's so many people that when you come by, as soon as you look down, they go, and they'll do anything they can to just not look at you and just keep. I mean, they'll do anything they can. They'll look at the bug on the floor before they'll look at the person in front of them. And it's just interesting because if they're not looking at that, they're literally in their little phone like this. And that's another one, man. I don't care where it is. If you see people get up on a plane, the first thing they do is they grab their phones. You see people standing in line, the first thing they do is they grab their phones. What if the first thing you did when you stood in line is you looked around at the person next to you and tried to find some common ground? Maybe you compliment them on something and you have a conversation for that 5 minutes that you're sitting in line. You might learn something. I'm not saying, just suggesting you might learn something.